Okay, who can tell us what we learned last week? What was our story about? Ryan?
It was about this guy who was like paralyzed, I think. Is that right?
Then what happened?
I'm not sure.
Do you remember, Ben?
Then,
I'm gonna skip that.
one of the people that was helping the paralyzed guy went to God for help, but then God told him to do something, but he didn't go.
So the guy came to Jesus and said, "My servant's sick." And Jesus said, "Okay, I'll go and heal him." But the guy said, "No, I'm unworthy to have you in my house." And Jesus said, "Because of your great faith, your servant is healed." Do you guys remember that story?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Now you do. Okay. So, I have another question. Have any of you ever been in a really big storm?
Like today?
Well, it rained today. A really big storm with lots of thunder, and
Yeah.
when it was scary.
I have.
You have? What'd you feel like?
Scared.
Afraid?
Scared.
Scared?
And like surprised and like
Yeah. Okay. Well, our story today has to do with the storm. And our story from God's Word is in Matthew 8, and it comes after what we learned last week. And Jesus saw the crowds following him, and he told his disciples that they should go across the lake. So they got in the boat, and they started going across the lake. And all of a sudden, there was a very fierce storm. And there was lots of wind, and the waves were going over the boat. And the disciples were so scared, they thought they were going to drown.
And I know what happened.
But Jesus was asleep. So then the disciples went to Jesus and they awoke him, saying, "Lord, save us! We're going to drown!" And Jesus got up and said, "You of little faith." And he said to the wind and the waves, "Be quiet!" And they were still, and there was no more wind. The disciples were amazed. And they said, "Who is this man, that even the wind and the waves obey him?" And that's the end of our story.
Now can I go potty?
So, what we're going to do first is we're going to act it out. So,
Ooh.
I need someone to volunteer to be Jesus. Ryan, you going to be Jesus?
Yes.
Do you remember what Jesus does? You have to remember in the story.
I was listening.
I was too.
Yes, was I.
Do you know what Jesus does?
When be quiet.
Yeah, he's sleeping before that. Okay, so you can be Jesus, because you remembered that. Ryan, Trinity, you guys are going to be disciples.
Hey.
Okay.
No, you can.
Can I go potty first?
Yeah, you can go. Ryan?
Nice video.
You're going to be a disciple. I'll be one with you, okay?
Okay.
So let's go.
Can I watch my video first?
We're going to do this. So do you remember what Jesus said first?
When be quiet.
Well, first he said, "Let's go across the lake." So then we get in the boat and we start going. And Jesus falls asleep, and then the wind comes.
Okay.
Okay? So tell us.
Let me see.
Go across the lake.
Go across the lake.
Okay, let's go. Let's get in our boat. Here's our boat. And then here comes the wind and the storm. Whoa! Whoa, this wind is so scary. We're going to drown. Go wake up Jesus.
Okay. Wake up. Wind, be quiet.
Now it's still. Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him.
I don't know.
Wow. Okay, now that we're done acting it out, a final question for us to think about. What is important from this story? And why is it important to us? What is important about this story, and why is that important for us?
That we could ask God for help for anything.
We can. We can ask God for help for anything. That's good. What about you, Ryan? You can answer it.
Well, it's not to be afraid.
Not to be afraid? Okay. What's really important for us to know is that Jesus is like God. He even has the ability to control the wind and to control the rain. That's how powerful he is, and that's the kind of authority he has. So, you guys need to remember the story. I'm going to ask you next week, and we're going to review it. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.